Live.
We're here. What's up, everybody?
We are we are back from vacation.
Oh man,
Uh, I am not rested at all. I did not get to relax really during my vacation. So yeah,
I did a lot of relaxing. I've been more busy now than than I was on vacation, obviously.
yeah. So you were gone from Wednesday to Wednesday in
Yes,
Colorado. So you drove to
terrible
Colorado. Did
place. Horrible, dreary, gross.
yeah, yeah. So I was following along, watching, seeing pictures you were posting of wheeling and stuff. It looked like a great time. I definitely need to get out there and do that with the Jeep.
Dude, you got the Jeep. Let's go now, dude. Oh wait, are we twinsies tonight? We're
Yeah, we are.
twinsies. Nice.
So not only do I have my Jeep, but my buddy Matt, who lives in just south of Nashville, Tennessee, he just bought a Wrangler JK on tons and 40s, and he's trying to talk me into going to California to do the Rubicon Trail
Oh yeah,
with a bunch of the guys from Brannick Motorsports out of Fort Wayne. So,
that'd be cool.
depending on how the vehicles are getting there, I may or may not jump on a plane out of Chicago and fly to California and just wheel my Jeep and then load it back on a trailer and fly home.
How soon or how late is that?
It's still in the planning phases right now, so I don't know. But talking to Matt, I'm like, man, it'd be cool to be able to like ship the Jeeps out there, run the Rubicon Trail, drive to Utah, run Moab, and drive home. Um, that way you're not driving 35 hours. It's like 35 or 36 hours or something. It's
It's
30
like
to 40 hours to
It's like
drive from
26
here.
for me.
Yeah, it's like 30 something hours, 30 to 40 hours from here to get to the Rubicon Trail
Man,
of driving. So even if you broke it up, I mean it's still a 3-day drive,
yeah.
no matter what you do. So yeah.
Hmm.
What's up, everybody? Chat's going really well. Thank you, everybody, for chiming in. Me and Wes are just chatting here, but owned a Jeep once. I have owned probably no less than 20 Jeeps over the last 15, 17 years. It
Like
seems like about
one
this time every year I buy one.
summertime.
Yeah.
You're a top down kind of.
But I'm not though. Like I
I know.
don't ever take the tops off or the doors off. Like
You got the
I've
option.
dri- yeah, like I drove the JK one time like 3 weeks ago with the doors off it, and like it's just not my thing.
Do you
Uh,
have like the
I pref-
motorcycle peg out the door and you put your foot on there with your leg hanging
no,
out?
no, I can't do it. I gotta have at least a half door.
Some
Like my
standards.
Yeah, my YJ had half doors, that I liked. I liked running with the half doors with no upper, but,
Yeah.
the JK, I don't know, I just can't do it. So, anyway, you were wheeling in Colorado from Wednesday to Wednesday. I left on Saturday and went to Tennessee for family vacation. Went to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge from Saturday to Saturday,
You take the Jeep.
which we didn't no, we took my wife's Grand Cherokee.
Oh,
Um,
that's probably more comfortable.
yeah. If you've driven a lifted JK any more than about for 15, 20 minutes, that's about all you really want to drive one. But I did see a Land Cruiser like your black one on the way home, and dude was giving this thing all she'd suffer on the highway. I had the cruise set Jamie's Grand at like 78 or something like that, and I could just hear that thing downshifting 2 gears at a time. I'm like, man, he's giving her all she's worth. Like, but he was running, 75, 80 the whole time, getting zero point 0.4 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, I had
It was a blast.
I took some coworkers out. I drove us Friday for lunch this past Friday, and then one of my coworkers got in the passenger front seat, and he was like, he looked down at the seat heater and coolers, and he's like, "So you mean to tell me you did 200 miles of off road rough trails with heated and cooled seats, and I was like,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Yes, I did.
And you got like
Yeah,
20 miles a gallon.
yeah.
uh,
It's
good,
it's
good
great.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do miss the Land Cruiser, but I'm not traveling. I'm going far now, so gotta be
yeah.
gotta be kind of comfy. You know, I don't want to
The
feel.
old man
Yeah,
back hurting. I
yeah.
did turn the heated seats on in the Grand Cherokee on the way home for about half hour, 45 minutes. It's an 8.5 hour drive from here to
I
Gatlinburg. So,
I've learned that's the trick. The heated seats in the summer are just for back,
yep, yep,
just for back soothing. It actually works.
exactly. Yep. That's what I use it for. It's not to keep myself warm, it's to shut the back up for a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
man.
So, anyway, back home from vacation, both of us are. I think after tomorrow morning, well, it might not be tomorrow morning. So I think I have one more chassis to cut, and then I will be caught up on all my pending orders. Your stuff, you've sent me all the tracking for. So
Mhm.
I just need to update that stuff. I might not be in the shop tomorrow. So my buddy Sean, who owns the off road shop down the road that races Ultra 4, we go do all the Ultra 4 stuff with, he got invited up to Michigan to Side by Side Blogs headquarters
Nice.
to take the Ultra 4 and his 392 Rubicon up there and shoot a video. So I might tag
Um,
along with that tomorrow.
can you go for riding 2JP for me?
We'll see. So I don't know what all runs up there. I don't know what there's really not like a this is what we're doing type of plan. It was just a they wanted a Ultra 4 car and whatever up
Rip
there.
their
So
track.
yeah, yeah.
I kind of
Supposedly
stay
they're
up. I kind of stay up to date on them, so they're
yeah. So
fun. They're like a fun group of dudes.
they're gonna start like a time board for their track,
Nice.
and they want a bunch of different vehicles to come up and run the track or run laps. So I might tag along with that tomorrow, even though I don't really have time to be gone from the shop again. But it's
How far away is it? Like a couple hours, or
like 3.5 hours.
that's nothing now.
Yeah, GSpeed doesn't take days off to play. GSpeed also orders his chassis from China, so.
Oh,
No, Rob. I'm glad I got to see Rob before I left for vacation. Saturday last, I'd be over a week ago now. Saturday, Rob came up to Fun Park, and we did some crawling at Fun Park. I took a shovel out with me and dug up some of that main rock line. Dug down to where the rocks were in
yeah,
that big main hill climb. So the nice thing is all that stuff is still there from when we were there, from when
nice.
we were doing it. So none of that stuff left. It just all got buried by blowing and wash away dirt. So
Yeah, I know when they put up the
um,
building, it was the runoff was getting pretty wild.
yeah. So but I took a shovel out there, and it really only took me 15-20 minutes to dig that line back out. So to make it a hell of a lot more difficult.
Yeah,
So I think I'm gonna go back out there maybe this weekend, maybe the following weekend, with a rake and a shovel and a hoe or something, and get back after it. But yes, we do everything in the U.S. We don't do anything outside the U.S. Most of the stuff is manufactured in house in my shop. The laser cut stuff is all laser cut in the U.S., as is the 3D printed stuff. So that's not done in house here, but it's all U.S. So we don't order bulk
buy
stuff from China.
buy here, stay here, man.
Yep.
I'd rather take kind of a hit on whatever revenue.
I mean, I've got well into the six figures worth of CNC machines here to manufacture toy truck parts. So the epitome of reinvesting into the company is right behind me and right behind the camera. So yeah. That place
Yeah.
has potential. I've offered to go back and help, just a matter of getting him to actually reply to messages. Um, I mean, Rob, I'll always reply to your messages. I know Ryan stays busy, so if you are gonna come up and wanna run a shovel, you let me know what day you're coming, and I'll figure out how to get there. Or we can figure out what day works best for both of us. It doesn't matter. I'll be there with a shovel. If somebody else is willing to put in time, I'm willing to put in time. I'm just not willing to be the only person to put in time like it became when we stopped doing it. Was that you or I or you and I were the only ones doing any maintenance and everyone else was reaping the benefits. So,
Just showing up and tearing it up.
yeah. So, but I'll absolutely go and dig some more holes. They've got a bunch of pea gravel that they dumped a load of pea gravel back there so we could rake some of that out onto the trail itself, like the walking path stuff, and you know, get out there with a weed whacker and weed whack some of the taller stuff. Right now, it's grown up pretty bad because it's midsummer, so the weeds are pretty out of control. But the bugs weren't too bad. Would you guys produce my parts ideas for your neighbor in Canada? Absolutely. Send us a message. I mean, that's probably about half of what I do in house here is manufacture for other businesses too. I make a lot of skid plates for a lot of vendors, and I make other parts for other vendors as well. So shoot us an email, and it's absolutely possible. Haven't read the rule book. Do you think a high-low could be a good sportsman? Uh, I'm assuming you mean in like the comp world sporty. Yes, it can be absolutely. I haven't really looked into the body rules or bodiless rules. I know there are people who run them in sporty, so there has to be a way to do it. Um,
I
so yeah, I
probably
mean,
would recommend maybe the fan page, reaching out there if he's on Facebook.
yeah, Tom, if you're on Facebook, jump on the Brazen fan page. I know there's a
There's
couple
some,
people that run them in sporty.
there's some wild builds on there to where I'm like,
Hmm.
what? I'm impressed.
Yeah. Uh, rules are super tiny on tutus. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of rules going on. But so while the router was running cutting chassis today, and while the mill was running making skid plates, and I was procrastinating turning on the lathe, which I still haven't turned on in what's been 3 weeks now since it broke. uh, I decided to make some new stickers instead. So some of you guys are gonna get just some random ass stickers in orders for the rest, until I burn up these random stickers I decided to print
No
because
wheels.
I
Oh, we got stickers.
yeah, no wheels. I haven't I haven't touched this, but I
Hey,
have
no
stickers.
one's. I
I have
haven't
new
heard anybody
stickers.
complain about not getting wheels in their orders. It's always stickers, so stickers they
Ye-
get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we very very rarely have issues with shipping, with people receiving their orders. um, I don't know what the hell happened, but for whatever reason, while we were on vacation, we had
so
two.
was so was shipping. Shipping was also.
Yeah, we had two UPS deliveries that got delivered to the wrong addresses. Which is super frustrating. Number one, because the customer is not happy because they didn't get their order, but number two, because we're on vacation, man. You know, Um, it sucks. So to have to try to deal with that when you're away from your normal computers and away from your normal sources of communication. And the one customer was super impatient. He sent one email. Customer sent one email letting us know that his order was delivered to the wrong address, and within 12 business hours had already filed a PayPal claim. Like, I hadn't even seen the email yet, bro. I'm on vacation. I just get an email to my personal email that there's a PayPal claim. I'm like, what the hell? A PayPal claim. So that sucked because that was the last thing I wanted to deal with while I was on vacation was a upset customer and a PayPal claim.
Out in Colorado, I got service at like 13,000 feet. Other than that,
Yeah, I
nothing.
mean,
Nothing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I still had luckily I still had service everywhere I was, but at the same time, it's like I didn't really want to be dealing with that shit while I'm on vacation. Like I'm on vacation. I wanted to turn it off and be done with it, but
My phone was
apparently,
like and then you text like, "Hey, we got a claim," and I'm like, "Oh, come on." Like, I don't even know. That's
yeah,
just kind of helpless. But that's a bummer.
yeah. But I think both of those customers are handled now. Um,
Yeah,
it sucks, but I hate that shit. It never fails that it's when you're not in the office. It's when you're on vacation or something else is going on. That's when that stuff happens for no reason of our own.
yeah. The especially when I'm out remote, or if it's kind of like the weekend in general. Sometimes I'm feeling zesty and I'll reply right away, but I try to live it up on the weekends and get out. So
Yeah,
the most fastest thing ever.
yeah. Harley, our website turned on some old products over the weekend, made for a fun mess.
What?
That made for a bunch of refunds, is what that made for.
Yo, those green method wheels are on the side.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a set of them purples. That'd be a mess. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. Curry Rock Jock 60s? Wow, that is an
Oh,
old product. I could
nice.
see why people would have snapped those up too, because
They're
it's
like,
not something that's common to come
they're like,
up.
hey.
Yeah, one person saw it and then they messaged their buddy, "Hey, you can get Rock Jock 60s again."
Dude, they got them.
That's the one axle I do regret selling. I had a set of clear XR with 60s. I think they were XR with Rock Jock 60s, and I regret selling those. I wish I'd have kept those. They were on like a class 2 type build from the NWI days. They were under a new bright JK body. So, yeah, I miss that truck. That was a nice truck.
Hang on, I gotta clean off the desk here. I got some crap on here.
Oops.
Ah,
What happened there?
not all parts of downtown are are free on Sundays to park.
Oh.
I was like,
Oops.
oh, that's freaking cool. So back to this thing. Come to find out, the proper wheelbase I was after, the stock or the high-low front lowers actually give this thing the wheelbase, the
That
distance
you wanted.
I'm looking for. Yeah, so all I gotta do is get my mic and measure for top link, and I think we're good to go. Um, and it seems like these links that Lance made me aren't a total waste because they're pretty similar to the lower link, so I can use that on another build.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm gonna do a mullet with the elite front, linked rear. So that'll be it. All works out. Everything always
Yeah.
works out. Everything's fun.
Yeah.
But
Do you sell a flat bottom skid plate for the TRX4 that is flush to the bottom of the rails? Technically, no. We do not sell any TRX4 compatible components anymore. You can still order our TRX4 conversion skid on Shapeways, but that does not bolt to a TRX4 chassis.
no,
That's to use a TRX4 trans in a SCX based flat rail type chassis. So technically, to answer your question, no, we don't make a flat skid for the TRX4, but we do make a flat skid that fits a TRX4 transmission, and it's on Shapeways.
gotta word that right, man. Gotta word
It's
that right.
TRX4 compatible.
To the
Free on Sunday, bill comes Monday.
oh
Yeah.
man,
So is that actually a parking ticket or is it like a warning?
it is absolutely a parking ticket. Yeah.
Nice.
I thought I've never gotten a parking ticket. I thought parking tickets were like $30 or $50. No, this one's about $100.
Yeah. I've only ever gotten one parking ticket, and it was, in downtown Bremen, which is, like, half an hour
Ugh.
south of here.
What'd you
I
do?
pulled
Park
up
in the middle of the blueberry festival? How do you get a?
No, that's in Plymouth.
Oh, that is right.
No,
Wait,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I ordered pizza from the Wooden Peel in Bremen, which is just a little mom and pop pizza shop, and I pulled up to pick up my pizza that was ready, and I parked facing the wrong way on the curb along the curb, but my truck was facing the opposite way of traffic. I ran inside, paid for my pizza, grabbed my pizza. I was inside less than 4 minutes, and I come back out, and he was already writing a ticket. I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yep,
He
I
was,
saw you parking."
he
I'm
was
like, "You couldn't have
watching.
hollered and told me not to do that?" Like, park
He was,
totally within the curb area, just facing the wrong direction.
that's frustrating.
But it was only like a $20 ticket or something, and I just paid it cash
Ah,
and didn't even have to.
that sounds good. I'll take that.
Yeah, I deserved that one. Yeah, I did. Been waiting for a set of links for my prototype mullet for almost 2 weeks. Can't wait to see axles underneath it. Um, Custom links, or just like you ordered a set of links that's should be technically on the shelf. I've heard that hardcore's got a little bit of a lead time right now, and I know Lance is out of town this week, so I'm gonna give him leeway this week, but that doesn't make up for last week.
Lance,
Yeah.
you're in big trouble.
One of the guys that worked for me got 7 parking tickets in 2 weeks at the same place. How do you fuck that up so many times? Or do you just don't even care? You're just like, "It is what it is. This is the only place I can park. That's where I'm parking."
Fool me once, shame on me.
I mean, I always say that, like, if I get pulled over for speeding or something stupid like that, just write me the ticket. I'm paying my permit fee for the last couple of years of speeding. I don't even pay attention to the speedometer
Got
when I
me.
drive. Like, I've got to be the worst at paying attention to speed because I just don't. Ever since COVID started, when there was like no traffic on the road, I stopped looking at the speedometer and I haven't started looking at it again. I guarantee you, if you see me on the road, I'm going 10 plus over, and that's just the way it is. So
Dude,
if I get a ticket, I'm just
I,
paying my permit fee for the last couple of years.
I gotta watch it, man. I've been so used to like 200 crank horsepower, so it's probably 130 wheel horsepower for so long that I'm constantly looking up and down at that speedo and that Lexus because it's not.
Yeah, no, I don't pay any attention. Ordered a set of high-low links from Lance. You ordered regular high-low links from Lance almost 2 weeks ago, and they haven't shipped yet. That's not common for hardcore, so I'm curious about that.
Maybe shoot him an email.
I know he's out of town this week. He's actually in
Uh,
Gatlinburg this week with his family. So, does
oh,
the Shapeways TRX Force get attached to any of your rails? It attaches to all of our rails, and it will also attach to realistically, any flat rail chassis that's meant to accept an SCX10 type skid plate.
I know the one we definitely revised for that to fit is the ATL Pro. The other
Yeah,
ones you might have to drill a hole for a front upper link.
yeah,
Just beware. But
yeah. You
yeah,
may
for
have to make some sort of a tab or something for a front upper link if you go with some other brand of chassis. But it's made to fit any of the SCX based flat rail trans or flat rails chassis. Um,
I could
if I
drop a
don't
link
go,
to the Shapeways store later, but
yeah, if I don't go to Side by Side Blog tomorrow with Sean, I will probably be cutting the carbon front accessory trays. Oh, there you go.
happy camper.
I'll Yeah, I'll probably cut some carbon accessory trays and get those pictured for the site. But if I do go to Side by Side Blog tomorrow, it will be probably Wednesday or Thursday before I do that. I ordered links from Hardcore, and they ordered 28. I assume you mean you ordered on the 28th. You ordered 28.
28 sets of links, dang.
Yeah, that's a lot of links.
Or
I actually need to order 20 plus sets of links. I need to order some more of the Pacesetter and Oracle front upper links. I think I've got probably 10 sets left on the shelf, but they sell reasonably quickly. So
yeah, it's kind of
there's some state and county sheriffs on my way to work that don't bat an eye at doing 15 over the limit. So I have customers in my shop that are county and city police in this area, and every single one that I talk to is basically of the consensus that if they don't get called about what you are doing, they don't give a shit. If you aren't being violent or you aren't being stupid, like if you are weaving in and out of traffic in front of them at 20 over, they're going to pull you over. But if you're sitting at a stoplight in front of them with 2-year-old expired license plates, they're not messing with it. They don't care. So, yeah. So I just don't even pay attention anymore. I just drive. The road that I drive to and from the shop from my house to here is basically 5 lanes wide and the speed limit's 45. I'm doing 60. Get out of my way. Just it just is what it is. I don't even care.
The further north you get, the slower the speeds get, man, I swear.
Yeah. You know, this road, when it was only 1 lane each direction, was 55. Now they made it 5 lanes wide and dropped it to 45. So I still go 5 over 55. It's a small town thing. I'm not really even in a small town though. Like, it's small compared to Austin or Indianapolis or New York City, but like, it's not a small town. You doing your link ball?
Yeah, but I go too far. It comes up. Oh, dang it!
Went too far.
It pops over the ball and skips to the end. Up there.
That's why I use pliers.
I'm just being I just don't know my own strength, man. That's all. I'm really muscular now these days.
You also probably know and grew up with the cops. Some of them. Am I correct in saying that you used to produce for GSpeed? I did manufacture chassis for GSpeed for a handful of years. Probably, I want to say 4 or 5 years. I did all of his GSpeed or all of his G10 chassis up until I want to say 2018, like mid 2018 is when he decided to go elsewhere. But yeah, for quite a long time, I did. I need you to send me. Actually, I don't. I'm gonna switch that leaf spring truck to leaf under or to leaf over. I pulled the leaf under mounts off of my mullet truck to rectify that missing order. So
I got these.
I have.
I dug out a spare set. They're yours if you want them.
I think I'm just gonna go to leaf over because I have straight axles under it, so I should go leaf over anyway.
It did look pretty low.
It was pretty low. The skid height didn't bother me. It was the body height that was gonna bother me. I would have had to cut a lot of the wheel wells.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You got so many of those masher bodies. Hey, did you pull that purple Bronco off yet?
Nope. I did sell the drag car today, though, in person here at the shop.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Somebody's like, I don't know anything about a Losi sale going on. Let me get that.
Yeah. No, it was one of the guys who used to
Rob fall for it.
One of the guys who used to comp with us, John Aria, his dad
bought it.
bought it. Yeah. So his dad bought it. I'm pro North America. That's too bad. So it wasn't necessarily only he was going to overseas manufacturing type of thing. It was I was very busy, um, and there were times where it would be a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks before I could get things manufactured for him. He was selling at a reasonable pace, and when China can do it in the same amount of time for 20 or 30% less. I mean, I understand, but I agree with you. I much prefer to manufacture everything in house or at least in the U.S. But I can't really fault him too much for going elsewhere to get it manufactured. I just wish it would have still been in the states. So but we didn't split on bad terms at all. It's still amicable. So just is what it is.
This
That
is
six by
sticky.
six leafer looks sweet on the group page. We did get a picture of the 10 by 10 chassis,
Wait, when was
and
that?
he messaged it to our Instagram, to the Brazen Instagram,
Oh,
next
okay.
sitting next to his bomber. And I think he said the date on that picture was 2015 or 18. Damn it, no, I don't remember. Mart. Let me look it up because now it's going to bother me if I don't look it up. Messenger. I hate this Meta Business Suite crap.
No, I don't look at the Instagram stuff through the Meta. I got
Um,
set for the messages.
yeah, I gotta remember who's. I remember who sent it. I think it was RC Fabricator. And of course, the messages aren't loading, so that's super cool. I'm gonna let it sit there and load and see if it actually comes up. Because I think it was him. But anyway, Rob brought out the C1 Pro 6x6 that Hibby built uh, two
Rob
Saturday
building that?
2 Saturdays ago, and he ran that at Fun Park. So that was cool to see that. The rear drive shaft issue was fixed, which was also good to see. He did had some bolts come out of some links. It came apart on him, but it was doing pretty well before that. Rob, did you buy that from Hibby or did you just have it with you? I meant to ask you, but I
Loaner.
just didn't ask.
The loaner. Yeah, there's some things you just don't ask. Where'd you get that truck? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter either way, but I was just curious if Hibby had let that go or not.
Well, this is lame. I worked far too hard for the the front links to work perfectly. I got front uppers and lowers, and where I have the provisions for the upper and lower third axle links, the pinion angles actually doesn't move one bit through the suspension oscillation. Um, I worked far too hard for no reason because this
Yeah,
works perfectly.
yeah. Says he's traded Hibby for it. I assume that was part of the Vanquish Dark Earth Housings deal. I assume that's what that was part of. But I was gonna look for Rob in my spare wheel bin to see if I had another set of wheels because he was looking for, or he had a guy that wanted the wheels off of it. So I need to look. I can see the bin from here, but I can't tell what wheels are in it.
So
I don't know why this guy's messages will not load.
this AR-44 is about 145 millimeters, a little over 5.5 inches apart. So it's like that's perfect for 475 tires.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
I'm upset. I
Um,
went through this whole deal. So I did pull up that CAD file where I made this whole thing in CAD. I did have that rear axle at the back of the frame, um, which was because on my 12.5 wheelbase high low, it was about at the same spot. So that's where I just mocked everything at. But that in a 6x6 format looked, as everyone saw, pretty funky. So
yeah,
I'm digging this. I'm actually pretty satisfied with that, and it's super easy. I just gotta tell Lance to put 2 extra sets of front lowers on there.
yeah, that'll work.
Front lowers, yep. Because
Have you or do you produce for Corrupt Carbon Works? I have not, that I can ever recall, produced a chassis for Austin. I may have cut one prototype for him back in the day at some point, but as far as like production stuff, no, I have not. Austin does a lot of his own manufacturing in house, which is super awesome. I'm happy for Austin that he's doing that. I do believe that he still orders some of his carbon stuff. I believe is still ordered manufactured for him, but I know he does a lot of it in house. So that's super cool. Austin is one of the few of us that manufacture in house. I used to do a lot of chassis for UGRC, Underground RC Lab, and he ended up purchasing his own machine, the same machine that I was manufacturing his stuff on. So he's also manufacturing in house his stuff too. So that's cool too. Again, I was doing it, so it's kind of money out of my pocket because I'm not manufacturing for him anymore. But at the same time, also like I'm glad that he decided to do it himself and do it in house and purchase a machine so he can uh, prototype and grow and do his own thing. So super cool. But for Corrupt, I don't think I've ever done that stuff. Yes, Austin does have a step craft. It's not the it's not like a 4x2 or anything like that. I think it's their 30x30 or something like that step craft. But yeah, he's definitely running a step craft. I was looking at the step crafts too before I bought my Avid that I still haven't assembled. But I was looking at the step crafts because I wanted the tool changer, but I didn't want to spend tool changer step craft money and still be in a step craft. Um, you can buy a much bigger machine for the same money if you have the square footage to put it in, and that's kind of where I was like kind of torn between. But yeah, but anyway, there are very few of us who actually manufacture our own stuff. I Other than Austin, myself, and UGRC, I don't know. Other than 3D printing guys, a lot of the 3D printer guys do their own thing, but machining, not a whole lot.
Hmm.
The wheels, I forgot. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, Rob, I think I have a set of TGH wheels. I don't know if I have 6 of them or 7 of them actually, but I think I have at least 4. So you can get rid of those wheels that were on it or whatever. But I'll let you know, Rob. I'll message you. I need to put these wheels and tires on the garage sale site. This is a set of G8 2.2 high racks on a set of KMCs. Need to get rid of these. I sold the bomber. That these came off of, so I don't really need them anymore. Who
You
cuts
say
TGH?
that.
Yeah, who cuts TGH chassis? The same place that cuts GSpeed chassis. I'm gonna see about Saturday. I should be able to head out there. I'll message and let you know tomorrow. Yeah, let me know tomorrow. Oh, let me know by like Thursday. I don't think I have anything actually planned this weekend other than taking my munchkin to get his hair cut because he starts school at the end of next week
Dang, you're
already.
man. What the heck?
Yeah, second grade. I've got a second grader at the end of
Second
next week.
grade, dude.
Yeah, so he's excited, so that's cool. I like that he's not like he doesn't hate school. He doesn't hate riding the bus. So um, that
Wait
means I'll
till
be
someone
getting
steals his lunch money. It's all
yeah
gonna change.
the 10 by 10 pick with the Bombers from 2015. That's what I thought. I thought it was 2015, but I'm trying to pull up the messages, but it won't load. My Sherpa is Chinese. I hate to tell you, but more than likely. So Chris does have a CNC router. Um,
I got a surprise. I'll be right back.
yeah, Chris does have a CNC router, but I don't believe he's doing any of the manufacturing anymore because he's just too damn busy to do it. The reason I ask is I've created some ideas that are really cool based on motion picture template and jig experience. I'm not sure if it's worth investing in machinery rather than taking a cut from guys like you instead. You know, I don't charge nearly enough. Like I really don't think I charge nearly enough to do prototype work or light manufacturing work for people. I think that's one of my biggest downfalls in business, honestly, over the last 8, 9 years of being in business for myself is probably not charging enough because I kind of put myself on the wrong side of the counter, and I think, you know, what do I think I would want to pay for this rather than how much did it cost me to make this for that person? So like I finished up a batch of skids 3 weeks ago for a vendor that sells TF2 parts. And I've been making these skids for him for 3 years now, but it's been about a year and a half since he's ordered them. And I should have looked up the pricing of material again because it uses different material than what I normally stock. I should have looked up the price of material again before doing any, you know, before re-invoicing or committing to manufacture the parts because unfortunately the price of materials went up like 40%. Um, but I don't think that I could have raised the price of what I was charging him to manufacture those parts uh, to meet that and feel good about myself. So I basically ended up manufacturing all of these skid plates for a total of like $85 profit, $85 in my pocket after paying for materials, and it took 3 days worth of manufacturing
I was gonna say, did
for
that
eight
take like
for $85.
2.5 hours of labor?
Yeah, it was only I mean it was a solid 2 days of manufacturing. So yeah, for $85. So I need to get better about that. That's my biggest downfall, I think, in business is putting myself on the wrong side of the counter. Instead of going, it took me 2.5 days to make these, this is the price.
I
Or
did.
it's going to take me 2.5 days to make these, this is the price.
I I had a couple DMs about custom frames, and um, normally I would have charged like I think I used to charge like $15 to like alter a file that I'm like man, I'm like re-engineering stuff for someone's custom truck and then drawing it, and I'm like, man, it's got to be at least like $25. But even then, like I feel like I'm kind of selling myself short, but like to a certain extent, yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm sitting, you
uh,
know, when I'm designing something or redesigning something, I'm sitting on my couch with my laptop drinking a beer. Like, how can I really charge, you know, 85, $95 an hour to sit here and do that when I'm watching TV drinking a beer? You know what I mean? Like, But at the same time, it is business. Like, I have to make money. I have bills to pay. I mean, if I don't walk through the door of this shop for a month, it still costs me 2 grand. If I don't make a single part, it still costs me 2 grand. Plus, plus my subscription to be able to turn my printer on, plus Fusion 360, plus all the materials that are kicking around here, plus the lights, electricity. It's I need to I need to start charging for my time. Actually, I need to start charging for my skills and my time, where I typically only charge for like what I think it's worth.
I think I have a good segue for that. So the owner of this truck reached out, which I'm tying it in again to like messages. I haven't gotten back to his message because I got it when I was at like 13,000 feet, didn't have time. But um, the owner of this truck reached out and he's like, "Hey, I don't have time for that truck or to drive it. What would be a good price for it?" And this is the truck.
I can't believe he actually wants to sell it. That's wild. That's wild.
So this is a 6x6, but with one drag axle. If you're not familiar, um, all Proline shocks, old SCX 10 axles, but it's flipped. Da da da. I hand painted this and accented everything. All the 3D printed stuff is like a lid magnet.
Oh,
Even
that was so loud.
oh yeah, sorry. I heard it echo, but the whole top comes apart, everything. And this is all 3D printed by my friends at 1/10 scale. So this, I have no idea the amount of labor involved in it. I think the fifth wheel is actually functional if you were so inclined. Um, but yeah, this is like one of those things. Like, what would this even? What's sorry again?
No,
What's
you're fine.
if I had like a rough estimate, man, this thing might be like 1,800 bucks. Like I just
Yeah.
don't know though.
Well, like perfect example of something, similar situation. Like I've got this customer's motorcycle that's been here for a year. It's actually just over a year. It's an older Ninja that needed carb work. That carb parts are getting difficult to find. So I had to keep searching and keep checking and trying to find rebuild kits for all four of these carburetors. And so I probably have 8 to 10 hours of my life online searching for carb kits.
I'm just gonna do this the whole chat.
That's fine. Like, my shop labor rate is $85 an hour. But how do I charge that 6 to 10 hours worth of labor looking for parts at $85 an hour? And then on top of that, I had to tear the bike apart, pull the carbs off, clean the carburetors, rebuild the carburetors, resync the carburetors after I put it on the bike, and then put the bike back together. And even that job in itself was more of a pain in the ass than it should have been. So my initial quote of $250 plus parts realistically is a tenth or an eighth of what I actually have in it, but I don't feel right charging the customer $1,000 plus. But on the flip side, he brought me a non-running motorcycle, and he's going to get a motorcycle that runs and rides perfectly when he gets it back. So, like,
Yeah.
what's it actually worth? So I have a hard time. I have a hard time with that. But that's a whole long story of potentially manufacturing parts for somebody. But if you're seriously interested in having me even at least look at it and quote it, send me a message, and send us a message on Facebook or send us an email, and we can discuss it. And Josh Harley, you need to send me a file for our friend also. Just a friendly reminder since I've been gone. Got a boiler. Yeah, Rob, just let me know. Another thing that's going to go on the garage sale probably tomorrow, potentially Wednesday, depending on whether I go to Side by Side Blog or not, is I have a red silk weave C1 Pro, and I have red silk weave hoops. Josh, that file is a bomber skid. Anyway, I've got that red silk weave carbon C1 Pro that I cut. I think there's only 3 of those. Jason May has one. Our team driver Jason May has one. I built one that I sold with my other Class 1 truck, and then I have this one. So I believe there's only 3 of them. There are only 2 in the public currently, and I think this is the 3rd one. So this will probably go on the garage sale side either tomorrow or after tomorrow. And then we need to, I guess, figure out what you think that 6x6 is worth and whatever the customer is willing to pay for it. I think that one needs to sell probably locally or in person because shipping that will be a nightmare.
Did you see the perspective on this?
That's big.
I can't even. Oh, there we go. We can kind of get it in frame.
Yeah.
Big. I don't know, man. I might. My budget says no, but I'm like, man, I have a lot of into this. I might like make him an offer.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's a big thing, man.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Everything on it is one off. So.
Yeah.
Did I tell
It's
you
hard to charge someone.
The first back half of this? Do you remember that story?
The first back half that melted.
Yeah, he left it in his car, and it looked like a
Yeah.
it looked like a fun house. So reprinted, and I repainted it. Actually, the second paint job, this is probably like one of my favorite patina jobs. By the way, this looks pretty on point. I don't know.
It fits right in because your chair squeaks just like Matt's does too. So
yeah.
So your patina paint just fits right in with Scale Builders Guild.
No, it's not that level. I wouldn't see it.
What's the email address? Email address. Yeah. Email address is brazenscalerc@gmail.com. If you want to send me a picture or an idea of what you got going on. brazenscalerc@gmail.com. You know what, Jake? You're a good candidate for purchasing that 6x6 from Wesley. However, shipping it to Hawaii is not going to be easy.
My God.
I have to take out a loan.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I think six is one time he wanted to buy a full titanium, what was it? An ATL. Yeah, so it was the original ATL. He wanted the 1/8" titanium. And dude, I was like, this will be the most expensive frame I've ever had cut, but I think I had vacation or something, so it never happened. But dude, that was gonna be like a $400 chassis.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna do my like anodizing on it too. It's gonna look cool, but I could see 6 buying this.
Yeah. Ship it one piece at a time. That's pretty much how you'd have to do it. Ship the axles, wheels, and tires in one, frame in another, and body in another.
Man, I mean, other than like from here down, the body is like, I don't know. I would just probably ship it as one. I don't know if you could disassemble it.
Yeah.
It isn't forward. I thought it was forward motor. It's not. It could be. I think I didn't do a forward motor mount on this because it'd be useless because
because there's so much
Where the
weight in the front
motor is.
already.
This is where the rest of the truck is,
Yeah.
and the battery is up front. So,
Yeah.
um, and I made a big battery tray, so you can put your big 8,000 mAh batteries on out of your slashes in here.
Yeah.
And it is all
Pretty
homes.
wild.
I'll give it, man. I'll give it to this customer, man. Whatever I recommended, he was like, "Let's do it." So it has some good stuff in here. Good electronics. It'll come RTR. Well, probably. I think it needs. It has like an off-brand receiver. Yeah, but everything else is hooked up.
What do you think it weighs? Probably 15 to 18.
Um, Under 15. It's not too bad, but it is pretty heavy. I don't have a like human scale. I feel like this needs more than my little
Yeah.
brain scale. This needs like a human scale, and then I'll stand on it with the truck and then without the truck.
Yeah. Needs like an actual like shipping scale.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. And honestly, I would do a lot of research before I wouldn't just buy a box to stick to sand either. I'd probably make something out of like thin balsa wood or something. I don't know. I'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Does that have 10-1 axles in it?
No, they're the SCX-10.
That's what yeah, just a regular
Oh,
SCX-10 axles.
10-1. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Oh,
10-1. 10-1.
yeah.
Yep.
What
10-1
what
axles.
I
And
assume
my
it's got a regular 3-gear trans and what motor?
3-gear trans, one censored Holmes 2200. All the links I handmade. What servos are these? They're dual.
Probably.
Oh, so the servos are dual Hobby Star 300s.
Mm.
Not like not like the best, but it was plenty for this.
Yeah. Tim, TRD Adventures, what's up, buddy?
Tim needs this. King Missouri right here, baby.
Yeah. So did you see the pictures of what happened
Oh,
to Tim?
yeah. I caught it. I've been limiting Facebook, but I saw the picture you posted. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that I sent to
Tim.
you. Yeah. So
That
so
sucks,
Tim
dude.
Tim had a pretty scary thing happen. He had a little bit of a house fire that sounds like it originated from a trash can outside the house. Like the trash can got hot in the sun and combusted. So that's interesting. Never seen that before, but apparently it happens more frequently than we think it does. So hopefully your homeowner's insurance will handle that and get it taken care of pretty quick. Are you guys, Tim? Let me know. I mean, it's not really any of my business, but are you guys in a hotel or are you still at the house or whatever? I mean, I know it was mostly exterior damage, but I know there is some interior stuff. But you guys still at the house or are you staying somewhere else? Hopefully, hopefully the insurance company handles it and takes care of it for you. I am wearing my TRD Adventures hat. So, um, oh, one thing I forgot to say, with Gatlinburg trip, we did get to see bears, so that was pretty cool. We were riding the chairlift back down from the top of the mountain, and there was a mama bear and 2 cubs playing in the cutout area below the chairlift.
Did you see my
So,
picture I posted
hmm
of a mama bear and 2 cubs?
yeah, yeah. So we got to see black bears, so that was cool. My wife really wanted to see bears while we were down there, so that was cool. She got to see that. Staying at Jake and Dallas, cool. That's good. Staying with family, that's good. Glad you got somewhere to go. But yeah, so Jamie really wanted to see bears, and we actually got to see bears twice in Gatlinburg, the same day actually. So that was pretty cool. She got to see that. Riley liked it too. My son liked seeing the bears. I've seen bears before, so it really wasn't super exciting for me, but it was still cool. I'm glad we were 50 feet above them, 30 feet above them on the chairlift instead of right in their face. But
Where's your
you
sense
know,
of adventure?
my sense of adventure stops where I could potentially be mauled.
Uh,
Yeah. Theron says he wasn't good enough to stay with. Yeah. I don't wanna have to deal with that. House fires, shop fires, man, that's like we have talked about it on the live stream, right after my buddy Matt's shop burnt down. We talked about it on here about making sure that your frickin' insurance is the way it needs to be. Like nobody wants to pay insurance. I don't want to pay insurance either. But when something stupid happens, man, you got to have it right. Otherwise, you're so screwed. It's not even funny. An insurance company's biggest thing is to not pay your ass. So they will find anything they can do to not pay you. It's pretty wild. Fire's not something I ever want to deal with.
no,
Place in Rapid City has bears. You drive through the area. Had a mama and two cubs get in the trash cage at the cabin we rented a few years ago. Yeah, there's if you especially if you were in Tennessee, they get in the trash cans all the time down there. Pretty wild. Apparently, people not having home insurance is pretty common. That's bonkers. Um, wow. I mean, I could see it if somebody's house was paid off. I could see them letting coverage lapse, but like if you have a mortgage, you kind of have to. Renters insurance, yeah, people skip out on renters insurance all the time, or car insurance. People skip out on car insurance all the time. They pay the first month so they can get their freaking license plates, and then they just don't even have uh, insurance anymore. And that's just more common. It's getting more common that when somebody hits you, they don't have insurance, so you're screwed anyway, which is just dumb.
yeah. After I had that deer hit me, I was like, man, insurance is gonna give me this rigmarole, and I'm gonna have this like messed up brand new truck. Nope.
Yeah,
State Farm like took care of it, man. Can't even tell anything happened. I'm pretty
y-
like pretty pleased with that whole
yeah. So last summer, you remember when my basement flooded last summer?
yeah.
So my what happened was the cold water feed to my washing machine. The hose broke at the washer. And when the hose broke, it like flopped. I mean, it's like turning a garden hose on in your basement. It's what it is. It's a hose hooked to the cold
Yeah.
water supply. So the hose flopped, and when it flopped, it hit the cord for the sump pump and it unplugged the sump pump. So then I wasn't, there was no water. The sump pump wasn't working, so it was filling the basement. And then when I got home and realized what was going on, I plugged the sump pump in, and that with the sump pump running continuously for 15 minutes or whatever, it overloaded the septic system or overfilled the main tank of the septic system, which then overflowed the toilet in the next level up of my
Oh
house.
my gosh.
So that soaked it went out on the tile floor in the bathroom and went out the door into the carpeted main living area. So we had drywall damage in the bathroom. We had carpet damage right outside the door of the bathroom on top of everything that was flooded in the basement. Um, and when I called the insurance company, the guy was like, "Yeah, we'll send somebody out tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay, that was easy." Guy came out, he walked around the house for 10 minutes. And he was like, "Yeah, we'll have you check tomorrow." I'm like, "What for what?" And he's like, "Well, you're gonna need to put all new carpet in this entire lower level. You're gonna need to do all the drywall and everything in the bathroom, new flooring in the bathroom." He cut me a check that was like pretty healthy for what I'm doing the work myself, so I'm not gonna have to pay labor. So I'm like, that's a pretty decent check for what it was. I don't remember the total dollar amount, but I remember going, hmm, that was worth calling the insurance guy over because I wasn't even gonna deal with it because
Yeah.
I wanted to renovate that bathroom anyway. So I was already going to be tearing the flooring out. So what's cutting a couple of foot of drywall out of it? You know what I mean? It wasn't going to be that big of a deal. And
Yeah.
the carpet outside that bathroom, I immediately got our extractor out and sucked up all that water. So the water really didn't even, it was clean water. It was hose water coming out of the basement. So it wasn't like it was sewage on the carpet. It was clean water. So it really didn't even do any damage to the carpet. But he was like, "Yeah, you gotta replace all this carpet in this entire level." I'm like, "Sure, sounds good to me." I always pay renter's insurance when I bought my first home. Paid insurance, you have to have it. Too many things happen, yeah, and stupid things happen way faster than you think they do. Or they're 50-50 states. You save half the blame, even if it's not your fault. That's the way Michigan is. It's a no fault state. You pay your own. A lot of new homeowners insurance specifically excludes fire coverage. There's a lot of insurance companies that won't do fire. There's a lot of insurance companies that won't do flood. There's a lot of insurance companies won't do like tornado, which is crazy because you know, when I lived in Florida, we had renters insurance and we had to pay extra for flood we had to pay extra for flood and we had to pay extra for hurricane. And
Like
and
stickers
the
and
way
clips.
it worked. Yeah, so you had to have both because if a hurricane came through and blew the roof off, the hurricane coverage would cover the roof. But if a hurricane came through, ripped the roof off, and flooded your house, they would only cover the roof, not the flood. So you had to have flood coverage and hurricane coverage. To buy hurricane and flood coverage in Florida is astronomically retarded expensive because they know they're going to have to pay you at some point. And that's what they don't want to do. They don't want to pay you. So insurance companies they don't write insurance policies for that. But how are you supposed to have a house in that area if you can't have coverage for the things that happen naturally in that area? You're kind of on your own, but man, nobody has a couple $100,000 for your house when it, completely gets blown away in a hurricane. Like that's not nobody has that sitting in the bank.
So we
It always depends on your deductible, but in most cases, it pays to put it on insurance. Yeah, I mean, having my buddy Matt's case, his when his shop burnt down, he's probably 500 plus $1,000 in the hole after it's all said and done. After losing all the tools and all the equipment and all the vehicles that were in the shop when it burnt, I mean, he's probably four or $500,000 in the hole, and the insurance company paid him like 50 grand. So it's you gotta have your shit covered, otherwise you will get screwed. Period. Got out of Florida because of that BS. Same thing. I couldn't wait to get out of Florida.
At least you're gonna have race cars there.
You can have race cars in Indiana too. There's only 2 counties in Indiana that have emissions, so at
Can't
least in Florida you can drive them 9, 10 months out of the year instead of here, where we only get 4 or 5 months worth of driving fun vehicles.
Yeah, that's one of those weird states where you have both a jet ski and a snowmobile.
Hmm. But even we don't get enough snow to have a snowmobile, but
It didn't
usually,
used to be
and
that
if I know we used to get tons of snow. We used to have snowmobile season for a couple of months, but not anymore. It's just always cold and shitty. And when you do get enough snow for a snowmobile, it only lasts a couple of days. What about act of God events? Yeah, lightning strikes and shit like that. You gotta have coverage for that too. It's wild. I think the worst part about insurance companies is that they're so cut and dry. Like, there's no gray area, there's no humanity to it. It's, "Nope, you're not covered, sorry." "What? I've been paying you for how many years?" Puke on my feet, 50K. Yeah, I mean, basically, so his issue, Matt's issue with his shop, the way his homeowner's insurance was written, um, and this applies to anyone with a barn or a shop that's not attached to your house. Homeowners coverage only covers your home and attached structures. If you have a two-car attached garage, it's covered under your normal homeowner's policy. If you have a, let's say you have a $200,000 house, it's insured for $450,000, whatever that dollar amount is, and you have a fire in your garage that's attached to your house, it all goes under your homeowner's insurance. If you have a detached garage or a shop or a barn or a shed or a something, there's an additional line item in your policy for other structures or outside structures or detached structures or whatever your insurance company calls it. And there's a specific dollar amount attached to that also. And where his issue was is that dollar amount for other structures was only $45,000. So the insurance company will only pay what you're insured for, period. It doesn't matter whether you lost $10,000 or $400,000 worth of vehicles, tools, and equipment. If you only had $45,000 worth of coverage, that's all they're covering. It is what it is. You can't argue it. You can't fight it. That's the dollar amount they're going to pay you. So if you have a detached structure, call your insurance guy. If you got a detached two-car garage, call your insurance guy and tell him, hey man, like ask them what you're covered for. Tell them, be straight up with them what you have in this barn or what you have in this thing, and any vehicle that has a title, anything that has a title, go-karts, dirt bikes, mini bikes, trucks, cars, excavators, anything with a title or a VIN number has to have its own policy also. Doesn't matter if it's inside the structure and the structure burns down. If that vehicle didn't have insurance on it specifically, it's not covered. So that was the other issue, having dirt bikes and stuff in there. Dirt bikes didn't have insurance on them, theoretically. Technically, they didn't have their own policy on them. So the shop burnt down, burnt the dirt bikes down. Sorry about you. The dirt bikes didn't have insurance.
It's a big bummer.
So you lose $60,000 or $70,000 worth of vehicles. One diesel truck. His Ram was parked in there. His dually Ram was in there. They got it out, thankfully. So that would have been $50,000-$60,000 there. His razor that we built for King of the Hammers was in there. There's another $30,000 or $40,000 right there. That luckily he got it out. But you still, the cost or the price the insurance company paid isn't even enough to put up another structure the same size, let alone replace any of the tools or equipment that were inside when it burnt. So call your insurance people, and even if it costs you an extra 50-60 bucks a month, it is what it is, man. You got to protect your investments. You spent the money on the tools, you spent the money on the equipment.
Is this is this a Simply Safe plug? Simply Safe.
Might as well be, man. Yeah. I always update my digital locker on my policies with RC stuff as well. Yeah, I mean, itemizing what you have, while it might hurt your heart to see how much money you've spent on dumb shit, uh, when something happens, like your freaking trash can catches on fire outside your house, if that would have happened when they weren't home, if they'd have been out of town for something, or if they'd have been over at a family member's house for a cookout or something, when the trash can catches on fire, you lost everything. That I would assume that most of us in this chat or in this video have, anywhere between 5,000 and $30,000 worth of RC shit kicking around, or even more. Man, your house burns down and you can't, that stuff's not covered. That sucks. That's a big blow. Yeah, you can get itemized coverage. Yeah, you can. Um, Get this man a Simply Safe sponsor. I'm only speaking from experience because I've seen it, man. It's yeah, 5 more minutes, it would have been gone. Exactly. And that's all it took for Matt's shop to go up in flames. You know, he went inside, made a turkey sandwich, came back out, and the fucking thing was on fire. And it was already on fire to the point where there was no putting it out. So, yeah. Anyway, call your insurance people. I think I'm getting sick. Exactly. All right, that's enough. That's enough talking about that stuff. But Tim, I'm glad that glad you and your family are safe. I'm glad that the house isn't a total loss. I'm glad that you didn't lose everything because it could have been real bad. Don't want to add that up. Put it on paper my wife can read. I 100% feel your pain there, brother. But the money's already spent, so it's you know.
It's hey, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like, hey,
Sprinkler system.
this is a positive investment. Look, I only paid half of what all this costs, and look, it's
Yeah.
accumulated value.
Yeah. Yeah, it's already spent. So, I mean, I wish I would have justified buying a Ripper when they first came out cuz could you imagine explaining that to your wife? She'd be pissed about you spending 1,500 bucks 10 years ago and now it's worth 10 grand. Sprinkler systems. Yeah, sprinkler systems would be great, but sprinkler systems don't put out all types of fires either. So, they can help keep the wood from going up in flames, but they won't put out all fires. No wife, no problem. So I'm lucky. Number one, my wife doesn't really question anything that I do at this point, but also most of the things that I do are business expenses. So I
She's
don't really
either
have
giving
to.
up on you, or she's like, he's not a dummy.
Yeah, I think it's both.
He's not a
I think it's
complete
both.
idiot, but he's a big boy.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't bankrupted us yet, so I must be doing something okay.
You're doing kind of alright.
Oh man, I haven't started cutting up this Utron body. I think that'll be one of my projects for later this week. I did put a sticker on it, but I haven't started cutting it up yet.
I saw, what was it? Sasa? Is Tom building one? I thought I seen one pop up.
Tim Tim TRD Adventures has a Utron, but he has the actual element truck, not just a body. He was doing some stuff with. I did lower the price. I did lower the price of the Metal Masher Bronco on the site a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit.
Let's chop it up and let's put a Yoda bed on the back of it and put it on this. Terrible.
I think that if it doesn't sell soon, I will probably build a new cage for it, and I will probably bring this to Crawlapalooza again as a throwback. I still have the wheels and tires that were on it also in 2016 or 17 or whatever.
Dude,
So,
wheels don't go out of fashion.
yeah. Digging my Utron a lot. Yeah. Nice. I haven't watched Tim. Admittedly, I haven't watched the videos on the Utron yet that you posted, but I was keeping up on the pictures that you were posting as to what you had done to it. And it does look a lot better than it did when you got it. Got my mullet most of the way done. Just need drive shafts for it. Get the deluxe cut to fit. Get the ultra long or the extra long, whatever the longest one they offer for the rear, and then the short one for the front. I think if Rob does come out this weekend to Fun Park, I will probably run this Smasher. I haven't ran this year. I took it to Axial Fest, but I didn't end up running it. It's the first time that I didn't run it at Axial Fest. I did put it through tech, and I did put it in the concourse, but I did not drive it. So I think I might drive it this weekend if Rob comes up.
It's all dependent on Rob.
Well, if Rob doesn't come, then I probably won't go there either. And if I don't go there, then there's no reason for me to drive it.
Did Tim say he's in Dallas? Did I catch that?
I don't recall.
If so, I'm sorry you're in Texas this time of year.
Yeah.
I'm about to go back out to Colorado. It was mid 40s at night for camping.
That'd be pretty nice.
It was pretty nice. It was very nice.
That HPI FJ is one of my favorites also. I've got one right up there. It's up there. That's on my pace setter truck.
You remember when
just got some leaf springs ordered for his U-Tron. Are you gonna do IFS in the front and leafs in the rear? Is that what you got going on the U-Tron, Tim?
It's a legitimate Tacoma.
Yeah. No, his sister's name is Dallas. He's not in Dallas. He's staying. He's staying with Dallas.
He's at Dallas's, not in Dallas.
There you go.
That's what I was figuring. I was like, man, you gotta have way more friends up there. Come on.
I bought the Exo titanium cut to fits for my high-low. They're nice for $35. So the Exo drive shafts, I was actually contacted by the manufacturer of those drive shafts before Exo got their hands on them. Seemed like a decent drive shaft. I haven't personally ran them, but it does seem like a decent drive shaft. The thing that kills me about Exo is that like their website is exo.us, but they don't do anything in the US. So that's unfortunate. But to get stainless or titanium drive shafts for $35 is a pretty decent deal.
They're made from the same company that digs the batteries for Tesla.
I don't know. I don't know, but I could tell you which person messaged me about them. Actually, I could screenshot the messages, but it doesn't matter. Regardless, the drive shafts are made by a reputable manufacturer. Regardless of where they are made by a reputable manufacturer. Quality materials, I can't attest to because their standards of material are a little different. But
now Harley,
the manufacturer that manufactures them does a lot of drive shafts for a lot of manufacturers a lot of vendors in our market. So
Harley was talking about pros and cons of titanium. On to the next.
That link's done.
She gone.
Yeah.
Watch out, Barry. You're gonna get hit in the noggin, dude.
Yeah. I watched some of Harley's stream on Friday night when we were in Gatlinburg. I was sitting in my chair in the hotel room eating moonshine peaches while Jamie was putting Riley to bed. So I watched some of that. I didn't get to watch a lot of it. I watched up until he started dismounting and remounting tires, and then I had to get off of there. But I haven't watched the full episode from Friday night, so I need to go back through and.
Did you watch the chopper?
That's what he was working on the chopper, but he started dismounting and remounting tires, and then I was drinking moonshine and eating moonshine peaches, so I kind of got distracted by that. I was curious, so I let the cut off on my outside table to see if it was titanium looking steel. It didn't rust in 2 weeks. That's good. That's always a positive. Need to get Wes the TGH router and tool too. Yeah, I picked this up while he was doing that. So yeah.
Hey man, sometimes I just like the hard way.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's nothing all that productive. It doesn't matter whether it's productive or not, it's still entertainment. This
Watch it.
there's nothing productive happening here other than Wesley trying to assemble links and flinging them across
Yeah,
his room too, but we're all still sitting here, so
I'm gonna Red Rider myself with a link. Ah,
yeah.
now put your eye out, kid. I'll
Yeah.
be a meme for Chris to sell a bunch of those.
Yeah,
Don't be like
it's almost
Wes. Keep your eyeballs. Buy my
yeah,
tool.
yeah. It's almost like what that was discussed last week too. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago, so if he would have ordered one of these after the stream, he would already have it.
The Yeah, for some reason on these streams I'm not in a big rush, so I'm not really sweating
Yeah, it doesn't matter all that much.
that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do this.
Just let it go.
Load this up. All right, yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
I'm just
You
kidding. I
still got 35 minutes, so
don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. No.
no, no. Found a wingnut driver works for building links too. I haven't tried a wingnut driver. Can't wait to go to Rolla for the comp there on Sunday. You are driving down to Missouri on Sunday, Braden? That's cool. I think one of our team drivers, Jason. I think Jason will be there, and um, potentially Jake as well. So you might run into a couple of Brazen team drivers down there if you go.
Beware. I'm just kidding.
They might bite.
Yes.
Oh man.
Today's been long. I'm full of life right now. I must apologize.
Yeah, well, after being gone for a whole week, I was busting ass today. Plus, like I said, I was still torn on going to side by side blog shoot tomorrow with Sean or not. So I was trying to get everything that I could possibly get done today. So that in case I did go, I wouldn't have to be super worried about it. I'm going to edit the homepage on the site right now, though, to get rid of the shipping notice.
The what?
To get rid of the notice saying that we're out of town on the website. I need to get rid of that because we're not out of town anymore. And save. That was easy. Where's my easy button?
Mentally, but physically, we're here.
I've met Jake before at Canyon. Yes, Jake did come to Canyon. That's where he was. That's where I met him for the first time. Also, was at Canyon. Did I miss any teasers on release for 6x6 high low? Not yet. Wesley's been mocking up links and figuring that stuff out, trying to be able to try to finalize a link set so that when a customer does buy a chassis, they can just buy a bolt-on link set and be done with it.
Trying to do all the thinking for everybody. Do you remember when we did the 6x6? We're like, here you go.
Yeah, back when people could actually build stuff or actually
see
tried to build stuff.
you later. There you go. See you later.
Yeah. I need to get another skid for my high low. So Braden, the skids on the side are sold out, but I think I have more than a handful on the shelf that are not in inventory, but I need to send some more to Wesley. I need to send some more to Wes for C1 Pro kits. So I will have to go through. I need to ship the orders that are pending, and then I need to go through and see what's on the shelf and what I need to send to Wesley before I update skid inventory on the site. So there will be some more, should be some more on the site later this week, but as of today, I believe they're sold out on the site. Speaking of 6x6, can you recommend a good carrier bearing setup so you don't have to use a pass through? I was on the high low. The in the works carrier bearing is the only one that I know of.
Does he still
That's a
make
bolt
that?
on. I think he does. What people build on their own and not asking a question for every step. No, people don't do that anymore. Those days left about 3 years ago, which we've been in business almost 10 years now. So we've seen it come full circle from when everyone had to build everything on their own, from people cutting their own knuckles and C hubs and stuff and making their own links and chopping and cutting up transmissions to make forward motor setups, and we've seen all that. Now to the point where if it's not a bolt on, it's difficult for people to figure out. There are still a lot of people in the hobby that can and will hobby, but I think that the learning curve now to be able to make something on your own and make it work as well as something that you can just buy, that learning curve is way steeper than what people want to deal with at this point, I think. So they'd rather just buy something that bolts together than
Um,
have to try to hobby it.
the So I'm torn on that because there's pros and cons. Like if everyone was still making everything, um, I don't have.
A lot of us wouldn't be in business.
Well, we would still be doing the same thing, but like that wouldn't have pushed me into 3D design and all this other stuff. Like like where me and you are now, we could be our own manufacturer. Like we're we're drivetrain away from probably producing a rolling truck,
Hmm.
versus where we were 5 years ago, just a frame rail.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, people for sure aren't putting that much more work into the hobby as they used to, but I could probably design an entire world of vehicle if push comes to shove,
Yeah, I mean,
which, which is
we
pretty
get
awesome.
customers that um, have literally told us that they can't drill a hole in something. And when questioned, like why can't you drill a hole in a G10 frame rail? You can use a regular drill bit and a
A
regular
dull,
drill.
a wood.
A dull drill bit will drill through G10. While I live in an apartment. Dude, I lived in a second floor apartment in Daytona Beach and built a freaking engine in my kitchen, like a car engine in my kitchen, and carried it downstairs. Like, you can do a lot in an apartment. And like Josh said, he gets a lot of negative YouTube comments about making so many things myself. I don't know if it's that people are scared to push their skill set a little bit at a time, and they see people like Josh that have been in the hobby for 20 years, that have been around tools and have a mechanical brain and can see the product in their head before they start. There's a lot of people that can't do that. I have an engine torn apart on the backside of the lathe over here, and like I have bolts separated into like what they came out of, like the valve cover, the cylinder head, the cam caps. The bolts are all separated, but they're in piles, right? So
Not
somebody comes in
hard.
here and they're like, how do you know where all this goes? I'm like, well, it's just nuts and bolts. It only goes in one way, and if you're fighting it, you're doing something wrong. And so people see guys like Josh that can just make something out of nothing, and they don't have that skill themselves, and they're afraid to try to learn it, and they're afraid to fail, I think, because not everybody builds everything right the first time, and people are afraid to push themselves a little bit at a time. So if it's not bolt on, they don't want to do it, or they're afraid that their neighbor's a Karen and they're going to call the cops on them for drilling a hole with a battery drill in their apartment. Like, I kind of miss those days, having my Wheelie King axle, cutting board chassis crawler with Proline tuber body. That's so yeah. I mean, that's what I started with was clodbuster axles. We built a crawler in high school for manufacturing class off of clodbuster axles, and electronics we stole from the robotics class. Like, raised my first tubes on the balcony of my first apartment. Yeah, I mean, people, you just have to do it. Oh man, I missed a bunch of comments while I was ranting there. Like a lot. Only thing I struggle with is interior, but I'm slowly learning. I struggle with when I'm doing something like that, I struggle with slowing down and making it fit properly. Like, I always feel like I'm trying to do the Josh and build a truck the night before the comp, or finish pointing out a truck the night before a comp, so I just slap it together and call it a day. Where if I slowed down and actually did it nicely, it'd turn out a hell of a lot better. Placed second in Class 1 with my Carbon C1 Pro. Love that chassis. Thank you. I really like the C1 Pro. I think that's probably one of our best chassis we've ever made. There's a mentality that if something doesn't bolt on, something's wrong. And to a point, that is accurate. Where, especially in my world with building an engine, if something's not bolting on, if you're having to pry on something or bang on something, something is wrong. So, it kind of is what it is. I'm impressed with Harley's jigs and etc. But there's a few of us that can appreciate that. Yes, Josh does a very good job with his jigs and stuff with tubing. I can't. I'm sure I can figure it out in Fusion to do it, but I can't do it at near the proficiency that Josh does. Like, the fact that he can just sit down at the computer and in what seems like a matter of a couple of hours. It could be YouTube magic, but it sure seems like in a matter of a couple of hours he comes up with a cage and jigs to hold it all together, and you know it's it's impressive. For somebody who doesn't have that type of brain, to see someone who is super proficient or hyper proficient at that task go, I can't do that. And then they may leave a negative comment like, "Oh, I wish you could just buy that." Like, kind of sucks. It's the perfect way. I think a generational thing with the absence of shop classes in schools. So when I graduated high school was the end of our shop classes in school at our school system. I was the last manufacturing class. I was the last wood shop class. They still have automotive, but it's at a different complex. It's actually at the local
Community
career center, community college type thing now, instead of at the school. So I guess that could be part of it, to not having that in schools, but also like, um, there were a lot of kids in those classes that still couldn't figure out what the difference between a 3/8 and a 7/16 wrench was. So, there was a lot of people that passed through those classes that I wouldn't allow to assemble tricycles for Walmart. So I think it just is a mentality thing of like, can you see the finished product before you start or not? And if you can't, then it's going to be very difficult for you to do it, regardless of the tools. I grew up without having the right tools to do things, so I always had to figure out how to make it happen. And I think that helps a lot too, because then when you finally have the right tools to do it, you're like, "Holy cow! How was I doing this the hard way all these years?" Like, you buy your first set of flush cut flush cut nippers, and you're like, "Wow, I was really leaving zip ties willy nilly all these years, huh?"
your forearms reflect that.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Saving for a TIG welder so I can make a full cage on one of my chassis. So the nice thing, Braden, now is with TIG welders, TIG welding has gotten almost just as affordable as like a standard MIG welder can be, with Harbor Freight or Eastwood or companies like that. To buy a DC only TIG welder, it really isn't that expensive. It's the cost of most 3D printers now. So realistically, you can get into that pretty cheap now too. You don't have to have the latest, greatest, highest powered TIG welder to TIG weld quarter-inch rod or 3/16 rod. It's not that difficult. Don't have the computer skills to get to Harley's level skill done. Old school jigs and templates from hand with router bits. And there's a lot to be said too about about making something by hand like that. It's a whole different skill set. And it's a whole different mentality too. So I 100% respect making things manually also. I ordered some RC parts, came to my state, went to my town, got shipped further north and even farther north, then shipped south of me, then back north again, then finally got it. Sometimes these shipping companies send stuff on a vacation before they send them to where they're supposed to be.
My I haven't been to the Bahamas, but my parts went.
Yeah, my auto career started at Walmart. Interesting, Tim. Nephews have a hard time figuring out who to call to get the job done. My nice TIG machine is $700. So my TIG machine, my Eastwood TIG 200 AC/DC. It's an AC/DC TIG welder, so it'll do aluminum or ferrous metals. I think I paid $800 or $900 for it, 10 years ago. But I use it, once a week or twice a week, and it has never failed. So getting into an AC/DC TIG is not that. It's not super expensive. Is there a TIG that plugs into a house outlet, or should I wait and save more? My Eastwood TIG 200 can run on 110. It comes with an adapter plug. You're not going to get 200 amps out of a 110 plug, but you can run it on 110. And I did run it on 110 when I first got it. Before I moved into this shop, I ran it on 110 at my house. But now I've got 220 here, so that's all I run it on 220 now. My AHP 203XI is a 110, welded my garage door opener plug. Yeah, and Josh welds titanium with it, so I've never run my TIG on 220. Well, you probably don't have a 220 outlet in your garage, do you? When I rewired my house garage, I did put in a 220 welder plug, but then I sold the house like a month and a half later, so I never actually. I'm not even sure that 220 plug I installed actually worked. I never plugged anything into it.
That was
So
the selling point for the buyer, man. He's like, "Oh,
yeah,
220. Yeah, I'll
yeah.
take it."
So like my detached garage at the old house, I had a 100 amp service put in, furnace put in, a gas furnace put in out there, and then a 220 welder plug put in out there. I used the furnace a couple of times, but I never plugged into the 220. I'm sure it worked, but I never checked.
Work on the Jeep buggy.
That's yeah. So it was after I finished the Jeep buggy, after I welded up all the bungs on the links and welded all the link brackets to the chassis and all that stuff. I was like, I gotta get a freaking 220 plug out here. And then, but by that time the Jeep was finished, so I never needed the welder plug after that. Off to finish Scale News update. Have a good night, gents. Thanks, Josh, for checking in. I will watch Scale News at 8 a.m. on the button,
Yep.
like always.
I'll watch it at work.
What I'm looking at is the Everlast 185 AC/DC. I'm sure it's a decent machine. The Everlast stuff, that's the green. The Everlast is green welders, isn't it? I think. Everlast, Vulcan. I mean, they all do the same thing. They convert energy into pixies and the pixies into energy and burn metal together. 5 new RTRs this week. I haven't been paying attention because I was out of town. That's pretty wild. What's up, Jesse? Got about 15
dragsters this week.
Yeah, probably. Got about 15 more minutes here tonight. I guess we can. So you've got laser cut stuff coming in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow, if not Wednesday. And then I gotta check everything, make sure everything's Good.
QC everything, and then you have more DSMs that are not on the site
Yeah,
that
I
you're
got a
waiting
box
on.
over there. I've
Was waiting on the
um,
laser cut stuff to be able to do
yeah.
kits.
I want to see how many
So,
kits I can make, so I can get some kits on the site.
yep, and like I said, I'll be sending you some more skid plates to refill you on the orders that you had already shipped stuff. So, there will be more aluminum chassis on the site later this week. There'll be DSMs on the site later this week. I refreshed the carbon inventory today. Um, so there's carbon chassis on the site right now. Skids, I will update inventory in the next couple days after I figure out what I got to send to him. How much do you limit travel on your ATL V2 front travel? I don't limit the travel at all. It depends on the axle I'm using. So if I run a portal axle, I run an 80 millimeter shock. And if I run a straight axle, I run 90s. And I normally put about a 5 millimeter spacer in them. So they're about 85 millimeters instead of 90 for the fronts. I haven't kept up. Do you guys have anything for the UTB 18? Technically, no, we do not have anything for the UTB 18. However, that doesn't mean that I haven't been working on things for the UTB 18. I did cut, this is another revision of a high-low for the UTB 18. I need to shorten the front of the chassis down so that the servo doesn't hit the front frame rails, or change the shape of the front of the chassis so it doesn't hit the servo. And then I need to do spacers, chassis spacers. So technically, no, we don't do anything for the UTB 18, but that doesn't mean
Stuff
that
doesn't
it's
work.
not eventually coming. Are you guys going to Apex in September? I am not going to Apex in September. I cannot drive to Oklahoma 2 months in a row.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am the same. I already have time off for Crawlapalooza. That's all. That's all good to go. I'm ready to rock for that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
yeah, I'm not.
it's about a 12-hour one-way drive for me. So I'm running 80s now. I've been playing with shock angle to limit the travel more, and it keeps getting better. What axles are you running? Are you running portals or straights? I want to say my straight axles I had at 85 millimeter shocks, and I had them leaned back. Do I have an AT? I don't have a. I don't have a Pro V2 chassis sitting on the table. That's interesting. Normally I do. I had the shocks, I think, be the second hold down, almost all the way at the back of the shock hoop on the front. I think it was like maybe one or two holes from the back of the front of the shock hoop on the second holes. F10 portals. So I would probably run an 80 millimeter shock. So yeah, you're probably right about where I would have been as far as travel goes. Theron's going to both Apex and Crawlapalooza. Yeah, I wish I could. I also wish. I mean, I could go to Super Shafty and Crawlapalooza because they're at different weekends this time, but it's each way. It's 12. It's about 12 hours either way. Like I'd have to drive 12 hours to Maryland, 12 hours home, and then what is it? 2 weeks later, drive 12 hours to Oklahoma and 12 hours back. Like I could make it happen, but I also don't want to. I was thinking about towing the Jeep down behind my truck to Crawlapalooza.
Oh,
I was thinking about leaving. I was thinking about leaving on like Tuesday night or Wednesday morning to head to Disney and uh,
play
have a
around.
day to play around before RC stuff. See if I can't break the Jeep before have to drag it out of the rocks.
That would probably be about as difficult as a CX-6 to get out of there.
Pretty much, yeah. Make Hibby drive. Hibby drove last year to Crawlapalooza. You staying in cabins again for Crawlapalooza? We got an Airbnb this time. It'll be at Apex and Crawlapalooza. Yeah, I think we're staying in the cabins again. Didn't I think I think Austin did those, didn't he?
Um, I need to like double verify this stuff
Verify. If not,
before
we
we
can
get
get
in
an
a
Airbnb.
situation.
Yeah, I mean we can always get an Airbnb somewhere and just pile in there. It's not really that big of a deal.
It's
Can't
it's
go to
nice being so
Crawlapalooza.
close to
Theron
all the
Dallas's
vendor
due
stuff,
date.
though.
Yeah, Jake says he can't go to Crawlapalooza. Theron Dallas's due date is October 26th, cutting a little close. I mean, you're not that far away. You can make it. Carl's renting a house. We're all staying. Yeah, I talked to Carl about that at Axial Fest. He said that there was a bunch of you guys all staying in an Airbnb. It sounded like I didn't invite myself. It sounded like you guys had a bunch of people there already staying in that house. So, but I may, depending on whether we have already figured out the cabins or not, I'll have to check with team drivers. But if not, I may get a hold of Carl and see where his Airbnb is and see if we can't stay somewhere close to that, or
We need
maybe
to,
Adam.
dude. We need to reserve. What's that like dock restaurant we go to every year? Is there
Yeah,
something right next to that?
maybe. I know there's a bunch of houses on the lake that are Airbnbs, but golly, they're expensive. But if
Or
there's 8 or 10 of us staying there, it's not that expensive.
yeah,
But you know, it does it. The price is a little spicy.
did come across an Airbnb outside Telluride that was almost 12,000 a night. Had a personal theater, uh, pool, hot tub, game room,
That better
bowl-
it better have
bowling
it better
alley,
have come with a full staff to wait on you and rub your feet.
bowling alley. I mean, I don't know what.
If that place didn't come with a happy ending for 12 grand a night, I don't. Not interested.
Oh, come on. I'm just kidding.
No. So anyway, we got about 8 minutes left here. I'm sure my headphones are getting pretty close to dying. So anytime in the next 8 minutes, if I randomly just reach up and shut off the live stream, it's because my headphones died. So otherwise, I think we've gone over inventory that we're putting on the site. Those who were not
Slow
here
down.
at the very beginning of the stream, while I was cutting chassis today, I made some new stickers. These are going to get tossed into some random orders. They're just the state of Indiana with the brazen. Um, we do have the truck logo, which this is hand drawn by Wesley of my truck, a picture of my truck that Wesley hand drew, and then my wife converted into something that I could print and cut. So we've got those stickers on the site. We've got these stickers on the site, and we've got these stickers on the site that are all laminated, so they'll last outdoors for a long time. Just stick them to your 1-to-1 or whatever; they'll last a really long time. As a Hoosier, can I buy one? I guess I could put them on the site. They'll only be a couple of dollars. I mean, I don't print them to make money on them. I print them to keep the printer running. Sometimes I just have to, these printers, if you don't use them, they get fucked. Like they are a maintenance heavy machine, and if you don't use them, they gum up very quickly. So I just I randomly will redesign or reprint or do something. I'm going to put these on the site also. These we've been doing as our header cards. Fold them in half, staple them to the top of the packages, and each one of these is a cutout sticker. But I have a bunch of these that I laminated also. This one is laminated. You kind of see how shiny it is, maybe.
Yeah.
So this one is laminated. I have a bunch of these that I laminated. It's too thick to fold nicely, the vinyl like puckers up. Kind of hard to see. You can kind
Yeah.
of see the gap at the top of that flag logo there. It like puckers up. So they're too thick to fold nicely. So I'm gonna put them on the side as just a sticker sheet to purchase and replace the old sticker sheet that's available to purchase. So they'll be on the site. But anyway, bunch of new stickers. Um, lowered the price of the metal masher. We updated inventory. Other than that, we're just trying to catch up from being gone for a week. So, Tim says eventually I'll get a live stream on again. Maybe some random days here and there. Tim, I always like watching your live streams. Uh, I like that you struggle as much as I do trying to keep a live stream going. it seems it seems like your internet must be an issue because having to do two different streams sometimes or three different streams sometimes is kind of a. I'm sure you. I'm sure your brain just freaks out every time the stream goes down because that's what I would do. I'd just freak out.
When I get scammed.
Right. Scaled RC, why don't you just send me a message because I would hate to charge you actual shipping to ship one of these. I can put a couple of these in an envelope and put a stamp on it and just snail mail them to you. So send a message on either Facebook or Instagram and reference the Indiana sticker, and I will just mail you a couple of them. Because yeah, I don't want to charge you $10 shipping to put them in a freaking bubble envelope and send them. So
Buy one Oracle Link set. Get
yeah, yeah.
Oh, also,
Matt put up his first Slash video a few hours ago. I'll have to make fun of him for. Oh, did I assume Matt got one of the new Slashes? That's probably why he put up a Slash video.
the Raptor R, I did see.
Yeah, I haven't watched the video obviously, but I will have to watch it. Yeah. Theron says he offered his hobby room to Tim, but he's not good enough. There's nothing quite like home. There's nothing like your own.
Skill level's not quite there.
Yeah.
How many?
Oh, I was gonna say people have been asking about 2.0 and Creeper T trays, so I think that's
Okay.
something you need to do.
Okay, I was thinking about doing another titanium batch. I can do these again now.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
you need to. I
I don't know
think you
if
need
that's
to do
coming
at
across.
least yeah, at least some 2.0s.
Okay, I can do that. I'll probably do titanium. I mean, the the bling factor for the cost is kind of a no-brainer. No-brainer in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, I agree. But I have seen quite a post recently asking about them, so I think it's something you need to at least do a small batch of
Hey,
25 or something.
everyone can buy the original T-case ones, and then I'll buy it. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'll have these another 6
Yeah,
months.
yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, I need the two little ones. I can get those. I'll start messing around with titanium again.
Yeah.
Because it was fun, laborsome, not worth the extra effort, but it was fun.
So do you have a garage at the new apartment?
Right below me, yeah. It's
Nice.
attached. It's pretty ballin'. It's a pretty nice unit. Um, turns out you just got to move a little bit further outside Austin. You can get affordable stuff.
Yeah. Well, I just lost a headphone. I always appreciate the stream, guys. It's like sitting around at the shop at the end of the day, and that's exactly what we wanted to do. Is
That's,
just a standard sit around bullshit session,
that's
have a
all we're
beer,
doing.
talk about what we're doing, and it is what it is. If we talk about something that's worthwhile, we did. If not, then hey, we just sat around and bullshit with you guys for 2 hours.
Insurance.
So I think it helps you guys feel like you're in the shop, you're in the know, you can keep up a little better than just seeing random Facebook posts, and that's why we keep doing it. This is the 20th time we've done this, and I think we're just going to keep on keeping on as long as we're in town and can do it. We'll do them.
We do appreciate it.
Yes, we absolutely do appreciate. I just lost my other headphones, so
Nice.
can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
I'm on the phone now, so um anyway, it's exactly 10 o'clock, and both of my headphones have died. So I'm going to get out of here, and I'll be back here. Well, potentially be back here at 6 o'clock tomorrow. If not, you might see me on a future side-by-side blog video, depending on whether I go up there or not. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next one next Monday.
Alrighty. See y'all.
Later.